down here.
Who are you? Who are you? Why don't you go inside? You have nothing involved. Go
Oh,
inside.
that's my daughter. So
Okay.
yeah, I do have a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You
maybe
know,
you don't have
this has nothing to do with you.
How's that? Tyrant. Tyrant, don't tell me what I don't do or not do. Tyrant.
You done yelling? You done yelling?
Are you done yelling? Acting like a big shot?
We're all set here. You can go inside.
No, you go on.
This is a rather disturbing video. The Worcester police were dispatched to a local church because apparently the pastor, Joseph Rizzuti Sr., his daughter had failed to return her child to the other parent at the time that she was supposed to. They showed up without any DCYF worker, no paperwork, no court orders, nothing, and inserted themselves into what is a domestic issue. The pastor comes out of the church to see what's going on and proceeds to explain to Officer Capabianca of the Worcester Police that his daughter is the person that the cops are there to speak to, and he's concerned about what's going on. The officer tells him it's none of his business. He's real curt, real disrespectful right off the initial encounter. And as he's walking back to his patrol car, the pastor calls him a tyrant. Calls him a tyrant several times. Doesn't swear at him or do anything like that. The officer then confronts the pastor and proceeds to tell him he needs to go back inside or he's going to be arrested for disturbing the peace. So that's exactly what the pastor does.
You're not going to tell me what to do. You can go inside. You're about to be arrested for disturbing the peace.
You here, Tyrant. You keep.
You can go inside. You're about to be arrested for disturbing the peace.
You here, Tyrant. You keep.
You can go inside. You're about to be arrested for disturbing the peace.
You here, Tyrant. You keep. Let's get him. Look at him. Look at this guy.
You can see right here that the officer tells him clearly, go back inside or you'll be arrested for disturbing the peace. The pastor asks for a supervisor, and the cop starts coming at him and his son aggressively, and they're like, whoa, look at him, and they start to go inside. Well, as soon as he gets inside, the officer starts chasing after him, yelling, hey, hey. It's actually unclear who's yelling hey, whether it's the pastor or whether it's the cop, because the pastor's got his back to the police officer, but now he's running, and you can tell that he's terrified. The man is running in terror. Officer Capabianca never says, you're under arrest. Never says, stop. Never says, hey, come here. I'm not done with you. You're detained. None of the key phrases that you would expect an officer to say to let somebody know, a member of the public know that, hey, I'm not free to go. I need to stay right here. Doesn't give any of those lawful directives that you could give members of the community as a police officer.
Let's get him. Look at him. Look at this guy.
You can clearly see here that the pastor ran around the pulpit area and then gets down on the floor with his hands in front of him. This is as non-violent and unresisting as you could be. This is a quintessential non-violent protest position, laying down and keeping your hands in front of you. I think it's important to point out as well that basically since houses of worship first started being built, they were always considered sanctuaries. It's where people could go to be safe. It's where people could go to worship in peace. And, you know, even during the Middle Ages and the Dark Ages, it didn't matter what somebody did. If they sought sanctuary in a church centuries ago, and really up until probably the last few decades, maybe 100 years, churches and houses of worship were still considered sanctuaries. They were impregnable. Nobody would think about running into a church and doing what this officer did not hesitate to do. This officer lacked the legal authority to do anything that he did. You can't decide someone's resisting arrest because they went inside the church after you told them to. He told him to go in the church or he'd be arrested, and that's exactly what the man did.
Somebody record this.
How could you do this, sir?
Why did you do that? Joey, listen, baby! Why? What is going on? You hurt him.
He tased me. My God, my heart.
You guys need to get back up. Get out of that space, back up.
He tased me. Oh, my.
Now you notice here, this man's just been tased, and he's saying he has heart problems. His family's saying he has heart problems. The officer has made no attempt at all to ask him if he's okay. The man keeps rolling over onto his face. He looks like he's in extreme distress. And this cop hasn't even called for an EMT yet. Does not care at all. Is not asking him if he's okay. If you pay attention here, all of a sudden this woman's on the ground. She's nowhere near the incident that's going on, and she's screaming she's pregnant. The family's screaming she's pregnant. You don't see it in the video, but you hear one of the relatives saying, "What did you do? You just punched her. She's pregnant."
What's wrong with you people? These guys are tyrants. What's wrong with you? Stay on the ground now. You stop grabbing me. I'm doing a supervisor.
Over here, you got the son. Now, it's important to see what's going on here. First, the officer has the pastor cuffed, forces him to sit up when he's not trying to sit up, and forces him into a sitting position. Meanwhile, the son is all upset about what's happening to the pregnant woman. So what the officer does is forces him onto his back. He's cuffed behind his back, and now he's got the cuffs digging into his wrists. He's got all his body weight on the cuffs that are connected to his wrists. It's a very painful position to be in, and the officer knows this. He keeps saying he's in pain. He will not let the man sit up. He will not stop applying pressure to him to increase the pain that this guy is in.
Get this guy's name right here, Capa Bianca. Yeah. Everybody, get this stuff. All because they're trying to bully one of our church members and steal their child.
Guys, you're going right inside the church.
Hey, Pop.
What?
We'll just sue him, that's all.
I don't know what I did to get
You didn't do
tased.
nothing. They said you punched
Yeah,
me in
he
the face.
came at me because he didn't
This
like
Spanish
it.
cop right here punched me right in the face.
I know that. Don't be
That's
punching
my
us.
wife.
You
Shut
know what?
your
You
mouth.
need to back away from us. We're not animals. We're not animals. Back away from us.
Bottom level of the economy.
Oh, really? For what? For I want a real cop here.
A supervisor.
I want a
now.
supervisor.
Oh, now you're gonna pull me up? Now you're gonna pull me up.
You can't believe what these guys just did
Now
to
you're
us.
gonna get off me. Yeah, she's pregnant, officer.
I can't even believe what these guys just did in this church house.
Yeah.
We need to get him up and then him. Which one do you want to get up first? They can get both. We have enough guys now.
Are you kidding me? How?
We're getting enough guys now.
Make sure my wife gets checked out because she's pregnant and this cop tackled her.
Which one? Take her up.
Supervisor.
I want the guy that's right
Yeah.
Supervisor. What's this cop's name? No, this is the one.
Stop kicking me around! This guy tased me, the other guy kicked me. 55 years old, beaten up by the Worcester police. This guy right here.
You have an ID on you?
No, I don't. You got one on you?
What's the idea
I'm
of
not
the
going to
scene?
sit on the ground. I'm a grown man. I'm 55 years old. I'm going to stand here. You ain't going to believe what this guy did, not him.
Are you okay? Yeah, we're good.
This one right here. Him. I want the
I don't know who called in the end. Yeah, that's why they can get checked out. I drive stuff.
Now, once backup arrives and the other cops begin searching him, he doesn't authorize any search of his person. Get out of my pockets, I don't authorize that. That's not a thing. He's been arrested. This is called search subsequent to arrest. If he was just detained, he could assert that privilege, but that goes out the window when you're arrested. It's called search incident to arrest.
Joe, Reverend Joe Rizzuti. I don't consent you to go in my pocket. You don't care what I said.
You're under arrest. We're going to search you.
Now you can see here very clearly that this officer approaches him, he tells him to stay away from him, that he's already been assaulted by him, and the officer walks right up and proceeds to put his hands all over him again. The man's surrounded by other officers, he's in handcuffs, he's already been searched, and in fact, if you look closely, one of the other officers reaches his hand out to try to urge his fellow officer to stop touching the pastor, and the officer just completely ignores him and proceeds to put his hands on his victim all over again.
Get away from me.
Okay?
You get away from me.
No,
This
you're
guy
under
was
arrest.
assaulted.
All right?
I'm your arrest.
Yeah.
Oh, am I your
We have a paramedic
Look at
to check you out.
You get away from me. You've already assaulted me. Assaulted me, tased me, laying in the back of my church, this guy. Imagine that. All because he was asked a simple question. Tased me, you knocked me to the ground, and this guy's pulling my pants down. No one's
They're gonna
checked
check
me
him out.
out.
They're waiting for him to calm down. They're waiting for him to calm down.
Alright, I guess the mother took off with the kid. I guess they're back.
I like my money clip and my money back.
We'll take care of that.
Look at this stuff.
I
Look
gave
at
him the
these
idea.
guys. You guys getting this on video? Taking all my stuff out of my pockets, my money, my
bro.
money clip,
Hey,
everything.
your whole behavior, all on video. All your behavior.
That's how that works.
Don't worry about it. Your behavior's all on video. Okay? So shut your mouth.
Oh, really? Shut my mouth.
The whole neighborhood's been disturbed enough. Okay?
Go ahead. Face me against the wall. There you go.
Your behavior is on camera as well. Everything you didn't do, from not telling him to stop, not telling him he was under arrest, to not providing medical attention, allowing your partner to strike a pregnant woman. Now you're writing down all these charges you're going to charge this man with like you're proving a point, just to waste public resources, judicial resources, and subject yourself and your department to a civil lawsuit.
Can
you bring him inside, ma'am? I'm so sorry.
Seven, what's the I number? Create a whole new I number for 78 Waverly Street, the Cornerstone Bible Baptist Church.
So based on everything that he's saying, he's had custody the whole time, so she doesn't have custody of the kid. So it's custodial interference.
Who's the owner? Who's the owner?
He's in there.
Oh, I smell
Yeah, I guess they let it, she took off.
Good.
Yeah, so that's why we're heading back to Kingsbury Street. She said she was supposed to be going there. But I had the parents coming here. I thought we were going to have her here.
Yeah, that thing.
So I'll head back over to Kingsbury Street. Mike, so was she refusing to give the kid back?
I wasn't here that exact second, but a lot more went on after that.
Is any of these guys boyfriends or whatever to
Father, I guess.
did they prevent you from getting the kid?
I wasn't here for, like I said,
charged with custodial interference.
it was a lot. We were trying to get to there,
Okay.
and he kept interfering, and he wouldn't calm down. He kept causing a scene, then he ran here.
Where'd you get, where you got tased?
I have no idea. He got tased right in the middle back here.
Can I just look at it? Is that alright?
Relax, I gotta check you out. Right here.
Can I put my pants up?
Jesus, hallelujah.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Sneak that over to his finger. I got plenty of cord.
I just want to make sure you guys got the offering, the money,
So let me give you a little update. It took several years for all the charges against the pastor and his son to finally get dismissed. Then the body camera footage came out, and it caused an uproar in the local media, and I'm going to include a link in the description to the coverage that the local media had of this incident. But it also sparked something bigger. About a year ago, the Department of Justice announced that because of this incident and several other incidents, they have instituted an investigation into the Worcester Police Department. The problem is that the last time the Department of Justice instituted an investigation into a police department in Massachusetts was in 2018, and it took almost 4 years for them to reach an agreement so that department wasn't violating people's civil rights. But look at what happened in this situation. The pastor had to move his church. He wound up moving to a different community. He now has a smaller parish. He has a smaller following because of this incident, and nobody knew what was going on. He lost a lot of parishioners. Who in their right mind would want to have a pastor that just was accused of a whole bunch of craziness against the police? Because that's the only story that the public gets to hear, is the side of the police. It's very important for people to realize that the Supreme Court has long ruled that freedom of speech applies to people that are criticizing law enforcement, even if they're swearing at law enforcement. This guy wasn't even swearing at him. Called him a tyrant because he was a tyrant. And the worst part about this whole thing is that the Worcester Police Department investigated the officers involved and cleared them of any wrongdoing. This is the problem with having police themselves. If every community had the opportunity to have outside parties investigate internal affairs complaints within the department, things would be a lot different in this country.
Bail us out. You got Joey's credit card. I'm getting arrested you.
I'll write it all down.
keep running, but you keep hiding.